Well, the Eiffel Tower's got a little bit of a story to it because this was actually for the front cover of Hairdresser's Journal.
Ah.
Yeah, and it was to mark the centenary of Bastille Day in France. So, and it was a real sort of fun sort of thing. And I just sort of started, I sort of, you know, was getting known for long hair. And I didn't have an art director at the time. I made the dress out of an old curtain. Yeah, you know. And the whole image was just fabulous. And so it became the front cover for the journal, that particular issue. And it was a lot of fun. So that really, that goes way, way back. I pre-made, obviously, the hair piece. But all of the bouffant and all of the other pieces were all done right there on camera. I think it, if I remember correctly, half an hour. We did this collection, and this was called Tango. And this took in the most beautiful finger waving. Now, I can remember this particular collection really taking storm because it was just before Madonna launched Evita.
Oh, very
and so we'd shot the whole thing as Tango, and of course Tango was huge when Evita came out with Madonna in. And so for me, that imagery was all about just the beautiful waves, the technique. And so when we did that collection, we had corresponding techniques on how to get those beautiful waves into the hair. I mean, I know this sounds unusual, but I've had many hairdressers over the years when I've done that sort of thing, crying in the audience.
Really?
Now I'm talking about old hairdressers. Hairdressers that have been hairdressing for many, many, many years that have never seen that on stage. You know, it's pretty ballsy to go on stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people and do a whole full head of finger waves in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And so it's one of those sort of things that it's a lost art, but yes, more and more young people are really looking for things like that.
Yeah.
That was shot at the Rivoli Ballroom, down in sort of South London.
Yeah.
Which interestingly has been used for so many things now, from Strictly Come Dancing to murder mysteries and all sorts of things. So that was all shot there. This is a great one. This was a dreadlock technique that I designed, and this particular technique, we used the crimping irons, and so I showed hairdressers how to get this amazing technique in the space of 30 seconds. So I can create one dreadlock in less than 30 seconds, and it brushes out really easily, but it creates the illusion of dreadlocks.
Yeah.
It's not crimped, but we've put a little bit of crimp on it. We take the hair, we twist it, we backcomb a little bit, twist it, put some spray, and then gently crimp down, and it holds the hair in this beautiful, beautiful dreadlock. So that was a really a fun way of doing something a little bit different. But again, tying the image to education, and then the education to babyless, which was something that I was wanting to do. This one is beautiful. We did opera. And this was about curl, and again about romance, and we travelled the world with this. We did this in the Kremlin for Mrs. Putin. Can you believe it? She was in the audience, and we flew an opera singer from LA. We flew her in for every single show that we did that year. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. This one here, I love. We did a collection called Provocateur, and it was all about that beautiful sort of sirens of the sort of the 1940s.
Yeah.
Now again, we've got that beautiful sort of Betty Grable sort of curl on the top of the head. That curl took, without curling the hair, that curl took me less than 15 minutes. The secret behind that is doing a 2-strand braid very loosely, and then pulling at the braid and texturing the braid and then looping it back under, so that basically all of that was created in a matter of minutes. This one, as I say, was cream, and this one was beautiful, and this was beautiful braiding, a lattice work braiding that we sort of put on top of the hair, almost like a little cloche hat. And again, I just love the wistfulness of the collection. I love the delicateness of it all, and the whole collection was just cream, and everything was, all the clothes were cream, all the jewellery was with these beautiful sort of little buttons, and everything was sort of very transparent. And that collection was just so simple and so elegant. This one here is beautiful. This is red carpet. And this was an amazing technique where I take the hair and I just sew the hair into the back of the into the base of the hair, and that hairstyle took literally a matter of about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes.
It's amazing how fast they are.
Yeah, they really are. And this one drove audiences crazy, because I would leave this one to the last, and this is one of the, so I sort of, in my shows, I love to have a sort of something that sort of people can sort of sit back and just look at. You know, like something that's quite lush. And this particular hairstyle was that. And so I did it to music, and I challenge myself most shows that I do, particularly at Sell International, where I'll choose one hairstyle at the end of my show and I'll do that to music. Now, unbeknownst to anybody, that is the first time ever I have done it to music. So I have no idea whether I'm going to do it. I have no idea whether it's going to work. I've never done it before ever, apart from in a photograph. And that's a little tiny tidbit that almost no one knows. And it's a challenge that I give myself, and my heart's going crazy. Actually, there's another style here which was the same. And this one would bring the house down, because I would literally get the hair up and do it, and people would go, "Oh my God!" And that one there. Incredible. And I would do that to music.
Wow.
And I, you know, there are times where I finish just at the end of the music. Times I finish a fraction after. I've got to talk a quick little amount just to fill in the gap. And most times I finish just before the end of the music. So, and that was a great look. And that was, again, that sort of whole feeling of the hair was sort of about texture, about laying texture on. And this was a great technique that I sort of showed a lot of the hairdressers how to do. You know, because it was such a fabulous sort of technique to work with.
Do you find that the trends translate well from country to country? Is there a sort of...
What they always want is what is quintessentially English. They want the British take on what is happening with hair. And so, you know, I often get asked that question, do I change it for each country if I'm doing something in Japan, or if I'm doing something in China or Italy? The answer is no, because I don't really change it, because what they want is they want to see what is quintessentially happening in the United Kingdom. Otherwise, they've got their Japanese hairdressers or their Chinese hairdressers that would show them what's happening in China. So what happens is, obviously the hair textures change, because if I'm in Scandinavia, in Sweden, and I've got someone who's got very fine hair, to someone in Asia who's got very thick hair, then that's what changes. So, but the technique itself doesn't.